Love Island USA Season 7 Episode 2 recap. This is Live Live Sometimes, your go-to for everything entertainment, pop culture, and of course, drama. Let's get into the recap. Ariana tells everyone to put their mask back on, and if you're interested in getting to know the bombshells more, she says just put your hand up, and then the bombshells have the option of choosing you to go to the hideaway. Of course, we learned that that role didn't really last that long, but still, everyone starts to kind of talk around the circle, being like, who kissed who got kissed, and Jeremiah turns to Huda and is like, you know, where did you go? Basically insinuating that she had gotten up and went and kissed someone. And Huda's like, no one. And you can instantly tell that this man does not believe her, and that is a huge red flag. In fact, a lot of his behavior this entire episode is very red flag. So is hers, but we'll get into that later. But he literally does not believe her at all for no reason, and she even pinky swears him, and it's clear to me that he still does not believe her. The bombshells end up texting the people they want to meet, and that ends up being Chelley and Nick. So those two go off, and Austin is left talking about how, you know, he was upset that Chelley was picked by Charlie, but at the same time he was really flattered that she did not get up during the kissing challenge. So he is still very hopeful with their relationship, and he's kind of likes where it's going, etc., etc. Miss Bella is basically like, okay, you go off, you have fun, but not too much fun. And I'm just like, there is so much about Bella that the voice, the different accents, the way that she talks in like internet speak, it just really throws me off. But on top of that, why are you on Love Island? Why are you on Love Island? You don't even want to kiss people on the lips. Why are you on Love Island? And then on top of that, you matched with someone who is one of the most hypersexual on the show, and then you want to like be telling him like, okay, you have fun, but not too much fun. Like, girl, what are you doing? He's not your boyfriend. You guys really haven't even connected even on like a talking level yet. So like, what do you mean don't have too much fun? Then the guys and the girls are talking separately about who kissed who got kissed. And Huda again brings up the fact that Jeremiah was, you know, not happy about her getting kissed. She said that she didn't kiss anyone because she's, you know, trying to get to know Jeremiah. She's trying to take it slow. And I'm sitting there like, girl, where is the slow? Where in this equation is slow? Like, maybe, okay, you might be moving more physically slow, but like we saw you making out on night one. So like, what do you mean by slow? Because y'all are acting like you've been together for 9 years at this point. Then on the other side of the villa with the boys, they're again also talking about who kissed who got kissed. Ace is talking about how he got kissed by 3 girls. And he was like, I know one of them is Chelley. And so then basically is trying to make it seem like Huda was one of them. Knowing that he went and kissed Huda, so he knows it was not her that kissed him, because he would know what her kissing is like, you know, and her smell. So he's literally just egging Jeremiah on. Ace, there's a lot about Ace that just really puts me off, and this is one of those times where I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, he is purposefully pissing Jeremiah off because he wants Huda for himself. But then again, he also wants Chelley, and he also is really interested in Sierra. Like, then we shoot over to the hideaway, and it's clear that Sierra and Nick are really hitting it off. They're having interesting conversations with each other. They're actually getting to know each other. You can also tell that there's a physical chemistry there as well. Then Nick and Sierra do end up making out in the hot tub. And again, there's definitely chemistry, both brains and body, all of that. Then we shoot over to Olandria and Taylor. They're discussing, you know, if they kissed anyone, if they were kissed. And Olandria is very upfront. She says right away, like, look, I did kiss Ace. Taylor's like, thank you so much for being so honest. Olandria was like, you know, you're still my top, but I am open. I do want to explore, but I really do like where we're going. And one thing I thought was really interesting, and one of the reasons I really like her, is she did say, you know, I kind of felt like shit that I got up and went and kissed someone and you didn't. And I really respected her for that. Chelley and Charlie, I honestly don't see much going on with them. When they're in the hideaway together, it just like, yeah, they're trying to get to know each other, but the conversation seems very surface level. Neither of them seem very interested in getting to know the other one, like, on a deeper level. I just did not feel chemistry there. I did not feel like, not even a friendship, really. I could tell that Chelley was, you know, liked that Charlie was very respectable, though, and wasn't expecting anything, so I think she very much liked that. But even when later they go out to the dock and he asks her if he can kiss her, and I'm sorry, but those pecks, like that's how a kid kisses their parent, you know? That was not giving chemistry. That was not giving there's something there at all. So I don't really understand why Chelley is kind of, I don't know if she's leading him on, but I don't understand why she's kind of like still giving him that time of day. Nick and Sierra keep talking, and they're again getting along very, very well. In his confessional, Nick does admit that he's kind of conflicted between Bella and her. And I'm sitting there like, you and Bella really don't have much going. You don't have a foundation. You never really talked. Like, they both even admit this to each other. Like, you know, we haven't even really gotten to know each other. So I don't know why he's so conflicted. I think maybe he just knows that Bella is like a very sweet girl, and so he doesn't want to like break her heart, and so he feels conflicted about that. But to me, when he was like, yeah, it's 51-49 between the two of them, I'm like, no, it is 99-1. Also, the whole Avatar conversation between Sierra and Nick was very bizarre. It was giving Nick actually, he knows what Avatar is, but he's never really watched it because he didn't know the names. He didn't know like the relationships. And I was like, We then see everyone getting ready for bed, and one of the most awkward and weird conversations between Jeremiah and Huda happens. Jeremiah is once again asking for reassurance that she didn't kiss anyone, and it's like, bro, she's going to end up kissing people in other challenges. Like, get over it. And also, he keeps saying he's open too, so like, whatever. So he keeps asking for reassurance as if she's kissed anyone, and she was like, no, we'll talk about it tomorrow. And he's like, well, wait, what do you mean? Like, you did kiss someone? She was like, no, we'll talk about it tomorrow. And I was sitting there like, what a weird thing to say from her. Like, are you purposefully trying to make him insecure about the whole kissing thing? Like, are you trying to make it kind of come off like you might be lying still? Like, why say that? You know? The only thing that I could maybe pick up on is like if she's been with like a narcissist in the past, and so she refuses to have any like before bed kind of conversations like that. Or maybe that was her way of telling him to sleep on it. I have no idea. I just thought that was really weird, really awkward, and I don't blame Jeremiah in that moment for being like, what the fuck? Like, did you kiss someone? Like, what do you mean we're going to talk about it in the morning? She also could have just been really annoyed with him asking again. So I guess it could be that too. Then we get the message that kind of broke the internet. We get the message. I was shocked. I mean, I'm so happy that Yulissa is off the show because one, she was annoying as hell, but two, we know that she is a racist. She was caught saying the N-word multiple times, and I gotta give producers a big high five because they said, nope, we're not having that on this show. We're not allowing that to continue. Let's get her out of here. Like, some people were like, oh, what if she said it on the show and that's why she got kicked? And I'm like, no, I think production saw what was going on talk-wise online and they wanted nothing to do with it. Also, I would hope that production would take her off the show out of respect and safety for the Black women and men on the show currently. Now, I have seen some discourse about, you know, oh, well, Austin's still on the show. Austin has not done anything like publicly that is anywhere like that. We do know that he has reposts about Trump and whatnot that seem to be promoting Trump, but at the same time, like, I don't know, I don't think it's nearly the same, and I think that you need to have different people on the show. It's just the way it goes, you know. That information is going to come out on the show. We already know that. That's just the way the show works. That's how messy it is. So that's going to come out, and that's going to be addressed, and maybe it will be addressed and for the positive. I see a sweetness in Austin that, you know, who knows what he's grown up in. I'm not excusing it, but who knows what he's grown up in, who knows what he has been taught, and this may be an opportunity for him to unlearn things and to realize that he is wrong. But regardless, it is nowhere the same as Yulissa, so he deserves to stay on the show. Huda and Olandria have a kind of the first run-in of the evening. This run-in was basically Olandria asked Huda, like, hey, are you not worried by his reaction by not believing you about the whole kiss thing and like how territorial he has already gotten? Does that not worry you? Because it should. And Huda's like, no, I love when my man is obsessed with me. Like, that's so hot. And I like that. And I even told him I like that. And I'm sitting there like, and as she should, Olandria is like, girl, that's scary. That's weird and that's scary. And you can tell, like, Huda kind of had this face about her, like, and I'm like, she's right. Olandria is 100% right, and she is trying to call you in and not call you out currently. Like, literally, Jeremiah at one point during this episode said that if he knew that she had gotten up and kissed someone, he would have thrown himself off the balcony. That's crazy to say to someone you've only been with for 20 or 48 hours. That's crazy. And on top of that, that is a red flag for future fights. Someone that threatens something like that when they're not getting their way, that's bad. Everyone returns from the hideaway after sleeping over there. Ace instantly locks on to Sierra, which is not shocking to me at all. We'll get into that a little bit later, but he instantly says something to her about like she's gorgeous or something, and that catches her eye because she's like, oh, me, you know. So that was not shocking. Bella finds out that Nick did kiss Sierra, and she was like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to put that in my back pocket so I can see if he's going to be honest with me when I ask him if they did anything. And I'm like, I mean, I guess it's good to know if he's going to be honest, but again, he does not owe you anything at the current moment, and like, I don't know. Sierra ends up pulling Ace aside and is like, oh, I heard you saying that compliment, like, blah, blah, blah. They sit down to start talking. You can tell that Ace is very much into it. And Sierra mentions to him, like, oh, like, I really like the number 8. I see you have it tattooed. And once again, Ace goes into that, like, future faking mode where he's like, oh, well, that must be a sign of, like, you know, this was meant to be. And, like, how many times are you going to do that with every girl that you're interested in? Because, like, I'm kind of feeling like you might. Just that feeling of, like, oh, no, like, we're connected. The universe brought us here kind of thing. Like, Bella and Charlie start talking. And to be honest, I think they're a better pair than them with anyone else personally. Purely because I don't think either of them have a lot going on. Like, not saying they're dumb at all. I'm just saying they're both incredibly surface level from what I've gotten from both of them thus far. And so I think that they should couple up because it just makes the most sense for me currently, but I don't think they're going to last. Chelley and Ace start talking, and Ace is like, you know, I really missed you, and you know that you were taken from me. And she was like, I wasn't taken from you. We weren't in a couple. I was taken from Austin. And Ace is like, oh, yeah, no, like, but I just felt like we were, you know, together and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, okay. Then he talks about how he wants to start pursuing her and, like, he wants her to know what's going on. And now once he starts pursuing her, et cetera, and I'm like, aren't you pursuing other people too? Like, why say that unless you really are focusing on her? Not, but we also, like, if given the chance, he 100% would go for Sierra. Like, let's be completely honest here. And to be completely honest, I got a strong vibe in that moment that Chelley was over it. That Chelley got turned off at some point, that something he said, probably that, like, made her like, what? I don't know. She either got the ick or she's kind of pulling away. I don't know which one it is, but that is definitely the vibe I got. But did anyone else get that vibe, or is it just me? Please let me know in the comments. Good old Nick and Bella end up talking, and Nick tells Bella, like, yep, I did kiss her. He is honest with her. And Bella's like, that's crazy. And Nick was like, it's really not. And I was dying because it really is not, Bella. Like, you aren't together. You just met. You have barely even had conversations. There's been nothing physical between you. So, like, what do you mean that's crazy that he kissed someone else on a dating show like Love Island USA? Like, girl. She then talks about in the confessional that, you know, she kind of is moving on from Nick and is going to start looking elsewhere because she felt like there was no sense of security with Nick. And I'm like, you're going to have zero sense of security, likely with everyone else on this show, at least for the first 3 weeks, you know? Like, I don't know what you came on here for. What are you here for? What are you here for? Then one of the most important parts of this episode occurred, and no one else is talking about it that I have seen. Jeremiah fully swerves Huda. Fully swerves. Let's talk about it. Sierra comes up to Jeremiah and she's like, hey, can I pull you for a chat? And he's like, yeah, perfect. And once again, Jeremiah is like, you know, I'm open, I'm this, I'm that, even though you keep being crazy with Huda, but whatever. So he goes with her for the chat. They're walking and Huda is coming towards them. Sierra's like, hey girl, and acknowledges her and like looks at her. Jeremiah says nothing to her, does not look at her, and even as they're passing, like, kind of like, please watch. To me, that is weirdo behavior. That is narcissist behavior. That is him. Like, that's weird. Especially after you just spent the whole day bitching and moaning about how you didn't know if you could trust her in this kiss and that and blah, blah, blah. And then you go and swerve the girl. Then while Sierra and Jeremiah are talking, Huda makes a point of like walking by twice and then like sitting where he can still see her. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Again, it's day 2 or 3. You know, what are you doing? You're being as bad as him now. Like, let him talk to other girls. That's like the whole point. And Jeremiah really brings nothing to the conversation with Sierra, and Sierra can tell like this is going nowhere. And then Huda comes up and is like, can I take my man? Like, hey babe, can I take my man? Like, oh god, it's giving insecure and weirdo behavior from both of them. And then they have a little discussion after Sierra leaves, and they're like, and Huda's like, oh, I could tell she wasn't your type immediately. And I'm like, well, then why are you being weird and walking by and sitting where he can see you? And your man just swerved you. Their relationship is obnoxious. I can't. It's giving Aaron and Kayla, but like way worse. Also, keep in mind, she still has not told this man about the kid. And everyone is called to the fire pit, and it's time for a partial recoupling. They get a text stating that Charlie and Sierra are going to stand at the top of the fire pit, and then couple by couple, they all are asked if anyone in the couple wants to go and kind of have a chance to couple up with either Charlie or Sierra to do so. Nick leaves Bella behind, obviously. Like, I don't even know why she was shocked by that at all. Austin gets up, and I'm sitting there like, Austin, what are you doing? Like, he has made it very clear that he is interested in Chelley, and he really likes where they're going, and he really likes their conversation, and he really likes her. And I did not see, I mean, maybe it was edited out, but like, where was him like interacting with Sierra and like having any chemistry? Where was that? I mean, again, it could have been edited out, but why are you standing up there, Austin? On top of that, Chelley, if that was me, And like, especially because she already feels like comfortable enough with Charlie. If that was me and my man stood up and now I'm single, I would have stood up to go stand by Charlie. Because why not? And you know what I mean? Literally, why not? But it's safer than being single. Huda and Jeremiah immediately are like, oh no, we would never. Ace has no choice but to go up to be an option. And then Taylor also goes up. And you can tell that Olandria is definitely like upset by that. Huda has the gall to turn to Chelley and Olandria and say, you know, you guys need real men. And you can tell instantly that Olandria is like, the fuck did you just say to me? Because Olandria is like, just because Taylor got up and walked up there does not mean he is not a good man. And amen to that. Like, what are you even talking about, Huda? You have the psychopath over there. And Olandria is basically like, nah, girl, like, we're good. We're good. And she's like, we can talk later. We can have a little chat. I was like, oh shit, Olandria is pissed, which she should be, because she is 100% right. Huda has no room to stand, no leg to stand on, because Huda, you're married to this guy who's been weird as hell for the last 24 hours since the kiss challenge. You've been weird with him yourself, and on top of that, you still have not told him that you have a child. Like, good on Olandria for not being like, she is a kid. In that moment, if that was me, I would have been like, she has a kid, she's got a daughter, how happy are you guys now? Because this man is worried that you're lying to him, and you technically are. You have been lying by omission this entire time. So like, while Huda might think that she is like in the perfect relationship and they're so strong and solid, it's like, girl, you are delusional. He's a weirdo, you're being a weirdo, and you have a kid that you have not told him about. The other thing I thought about is like, what is she planning on doing once she tells him? Because if he leaves her, that cat is now out of the bag. So now the next guy that meets you on Love Island you can't move slow and tell him when you want to. He's just gonna know up front, which is how it should be. No one stands for Charlie, which was really sad, but he's kind of like... Sierra obviously picks Nick. So now Bella, Ace, and Charlie are all single. And Chelley and Austin are now in an awkward position because he stood up. And Olandria and Taylor are kind of in a weird position because he stood up. But I still think Olandria understands and is... While I could tell she was pissed in the moment because she like kind of slid over to be away from him, I think... Based on what she has said, I think she'll get it. That is it for the recap. I will be doing daily recaps, so if you're interested in that, please subscribe. And if you like this video, please give it a like. It really helps my channel to grow. I'm brand new. So thank you ahead of time, and I will see you guys in the next one.